seconds.
Although if it was
Takes
Tuesday,
15 seconds for people to see us, and then to start joining and commenting.
if it was Tuesday though, I wouldn't be here.
That is true. So maybe it's Wednesday. Maybe I missed it. Wait, Cable just texted me. What did Cable say?
No, it's Tuesday.
What did Cable say?
We made an exception for today. I'm here.
Oh, somebody joined us. Katie Cook
joined us.
Stephen Cook joined us.
Stephen
That's awesome.
Cook.
Nora!
Cooking
What
up
else
some
we got
good.
here?
Hey, hey.
Oh shoot! The Snells are on.
Snell.
The Snells are on.
Kalina!
Hey,
Hey,
I can see
Kalina.
you. You said, hey,
Alright.
what's up? Jeff, I
Caroline.
joined. Abby Bezier, wow, I love y'all so much. Miss you.
I miss you too, Abby.
Hunter!
Hunter Shirt is on here. Nice.
It is apparently.
Nice.
And Mogul Branch, who, you know, assuming Nora, but
Nora.
and if you're here, that's great too.
Yeah.
That's great too.
Maybe.
Is that a smile with a double chin? Like smiley face, double chin?
Audrey!
Looks like a double chin.
Casey Ruckstetter, what's up?
Yeah. What's
What's up, Hayes? What's up? Katie Cook. Wait a minute. Stephen Cook? Katie. Hi. Hi, Steven. How you doing, man?
Oh, we have some hearts on there.
I don't know who did that. It doesn't tell us who did the you know,
If you
reaction
did the hearts,
but
you
it's
should
so
tell
great.
us.
I love it. All right. So we got 14.
Mia!
Yeah. Oh, what's up? It is kind of funny to see
Awesome.
like the parent name, and then to be like, who is
Yeah.
that? We know.
It makes me
We know.
hope
We know.
that the parents are actually watching too.
It's, well, you know, it could be a family affair. Maybe you guys are eating dinner right now, late dinner, and you got this going on. Whoa, Abby Bezier's face is like
Bezier.
fireworking across
We
the
definitely know who
screen.
that's from.
That's incredible. That's incredible. All right. Well, kind of like, should we give you guys a second to all join in? It is, you know, last week I think we started at 7:02, and it's actually just now 7:02. So.
All right. Seems like that's a good time to
It's
start.
all good. It's a great time to start. All right, so we have Matt with us
I'm here.
this time around. So give a big clapping hands emoji, you know, jazz hands, something like that. Wow, that was. All right, so here's what we're gonna do tonight. To begin with, so last week I'm really sorry for some reason we could not see your comments. Now your comments are coming in. In fact, it just says new comments. I'm gonna come over here and just make sure that you know what
The
is it?
suspense
There we
is
go.
killing.
Oh, Brad Pence joined.
Oh, shoot. Hey, Drew. What up?
And I appreciate that Nora said hi, Abby, and she put the E, which lets us know she's talking to Abby Bezier.
I know, not.
That's true.
So, but it's great.
Yeah,
Hey,
great.
Theo, what's up? Adam,
Theo.
how are you doing? This is Theo, by the way.
Theo,
how
I
you
believe
doing?
you.
At
It says
some
Jennifer,
point,
but I know it's you.
at some point, we will play Celebrity Press Conference. So, Theo, that one's for you. We might play it with the sixth grade guys, small group when we do that, you know, when we meet. But, all right, so here's what we're gonna do tonight. Last week we asked you, like, what are you doing during the quarantine? And I couldn't see any of that, but I did hear you guys had some great responses because Cable and some of the other Crash leaders could see all the comments, we just couldn't see them. But tonight we are seeing them, which is great. Also, I did a quick test of this yesterday to make sure I could see the comments, and I was only live for maybe 2 minutes, and like 4 of you joined on in those 2 minutes, so I really appreciate that. Lets me know that you guys are like, oh, something's going on the Crash page, let me check it out. It makes me think you miss us as much as we miss you. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We have a question. Quarantine favorites. So the first one is, what are your favorite foods to eat during the quarantine? So like right now, you're stuck at home. Maybe your parents go out grocery shopping. They pick up, you know, your parents are like, I'm going to the grocery store. Do you need anything during the quarantine? What is the thing that you're eating right now? Well, not right now, but during the quarantine. Abby, how about you? What are you eating during the quarantine?
Tortilla chips.
Just plain tortilla chips?
Just plain
You're
tortilla
not
chips.
dipping?
I ran out of salsa.
Wow.
I don't want any more, so just
So,
plain.
We've got some if you
Oh,
want to bring it
I
over.
can have some.
Yeah.
Thanks. And banana bread.
That's neighborly love right there.
Just plain banana bread, nothing like
Actually, we made banana bread also.
Chocolate chips?
No.
We made chocolate chip banana bread.
There you go. What's your favorite quarantine food, Matt?
Actually, we have a charcoal grill now, so we've been making lots of burgers.
Nice. Ooh.
Yeah, because one of the things that's not sold out is beef.
Beef, that's true.
So-
Beef, that's what's for dinner.
Yeah, that's what's for dinner.
And charcoal.
And charcoal.
Hayes Ruckstetter is saying how.
Oh.
Who's he saying that in
Never
response
mind.
to? How? Oh, never mind. It's great, Hayes.
He answered
Sorry.
his own question.
He answered your question.
Oh, that just kept me
Ramen noodles. Okay, so we've got Abby Bezier says Dino Nugget. Nut Cheerios all the way.
Actually, we have.
Theo's is tacos.
Yeah, we have lots of
Tacos.
Good
Cheerios.
tacos. Good tacos.
Nice job.
Caroline.
Stephen Cook says cookies. Hey, cookies.
Sure.
I like it. Wow, Carolina Alcorn. Barbecue. It looked like it
Hot
said,
dogs
It
are
looked like
my
it said
life.
Alcorn barbecue. And I was like, the Alcorn barbecue. Wow.
Oyster crackers.
Barbecue chicken, oyster crackers, and steak. Man, you were living the high life. I'm gonna come over if it were quarantine time.
Oh, man.
Mac and cheese from Kate McCammon, or it could
Yeah, I'm
be
going
Colin.
over to
Could
the
be Colin.
Alcorns.
Yeah. Hot dogs from Hayes. Hot dogs are my life. Yeah, actually, we've been eating a lot of hot dogs because they were out of bread this week, and so peanut butter and jelly is what our kids usually do. But I love a good hot dog. It's one of my favorite things about going to see a baseball game. In addition to the baseball, you get a good hot dog. That's what you do. I don't understand that about people can get whatever they want at the baseball game, but I feel like you have to get a taco. Ugh. Some people get tacos. I got a hot dog. Yeah. What about this? Favorite book, TV show, or movie during the quarantine? Some of you were like burning through those books. Some of you are binging any and everything you can find on Netflix or Amazon or Disney Plus, probably most likely. What is your favorite thing to watch during the quarantine? I'm quarantined by the way my birthday was last Sunday. I know, Theo. I'm sorry about your birthday.
Oh, Theo, happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday. Homemade communion. Wow, Nora, we get really controversial right away. right there. Oh, we've got Elizabeth Hickle. Baked goods. Baked goods. That's good. All American. Nice.
Wait,
Tiger
that's
King.
a TV show.
Yeah, All American.
Yeah, All American
TV show.
Yeah.
Tiger King, Abby. That's
Sherlock.
actually not surprising for Abby Baby.
Yeah.
Brooklyn 99. Sherlock.
Have you watched
Sherlock?
Tiger King?
Sherlock. I have not watched Tiger King yet.
Is it? Are we okay with?
I don't know. I've seen the trailer. The trailer
It looks strange.
Abby,
tell us if it's strange.
Questionably strange.
Yeah.
Well, strange by Abby standards.
Yeah, that's
good. Sherlock, that's an amazing show. Way to go, Nora. That's awesome. Riverdale.
Simpsons in the Office. Nice.
That's a good one. Simpsons in the Office.
Beautiful.
Mine are cheeseburgers. Wait. So this is either Harry
Avengers.
or Audrey
Oh.
Bierman. But
Oh wait.
cheeseburgers, hot dogs, homemade pizza, Brussels sprouts, etc. Whoa, that's a good meal. That's a good
Feels
meal.
like a Harry.
Onward and Star Wars. How was Onward? Have you guys seen Onward?
I've seen Onward.
Is it
Onward's good. Yeah.
Is it good? Okay.
I like Onward.
I haven't-
Onward.
I haven't actually seen it yet, but it looks really funny. My kids over and over again, they love to recite the line like, "The van is huge and the can is huge and you're." I don't know. That's like it's a good. Favorite thing. So
I can hear them saying that.
right. Stuff on Disney Plus for Arden and Grace. Like that. We watched Onward and Star Wars. Just all of the Star Wars movies. This is a great
I
time.
watched all the
Catch
Pirates
up.
of the Caribbean.
Abby says it's funny. Avengers are good. Man,
Abby says
it's very strange. Also, wow. Okay. Sorry, Abby. I mean, come on. Revenge of the Sith and Phineas and Ferb and Clone Wars. Wow, Theo, you got to see Revenge of the Sith finally. It's a good one. Maggie Caskey joined. That's exciting.
Yes.
Star Wars, Phineas and Ferb.
Maggie.
Yes. Nora approves of Phineas and Ferb. All right. Well, we're gonna move right into what we have for tonight. Abby is gonna get us.
says, please no more Harry Potter.
You know what, Mel? Just today, my boys brought out the Harry Potter glasses. They asked for the scar. The robes came out. Out of nowhere, Harry Potter came back, at least in our house, but we'll see. It sounds like Harry Potter is alive and streaming at the Dunn household.
All right, we have 4 birthdays this week. Kate McCannon, Peyton Edgecombe, Jennifer Hong, and Lydia Blake. So we are wishing you from all of us a
Happy birthday!
Happy
Woo!
birthday.
What are the dates? What are the dates on those?
April 3rd for Kate, April 4th for Peyton, April 6th for Jennifer, and April 9th for Lydia.
Woo!
All right, happy birthday.
Those are the birthdays this week, kind of slash a little bit of last. Basically, the birthdays from last Tuesday up until this kind of next Tuesday. I don't know how I did that exactly, but I pulled the most recent birthdays. Sorry, Theo, I missed yours somehow, but happy belated birthday for all of you. Okay, we've got more comments coming in.
Harry
JK,
says Audrey.
no offense. Or Frozen 2.
Okay, so I knew that was Harry.
My
Harry's
sister's
nothing
helping
is
my
not
dad cook.
detailed.
That's true. That's true. Please, no more you. Wow, Nora. I've missed that sarcasm a little bit. It's one of the sad effects of the quarantine is we miss Nora's sarcasm. And anyway, it's a good thing. All right. So here's the way this game's gonna work. Remember, we're on a 15-second delay. So if I ask a question, it's gonna take you guys about 15 seconds to see it and then to respond. So that's just the way this is gonna go. Here's this game. It is called Emoji Pictionary. It could be called Emoji Charades because there's not going to be a ton of talking during it. But we are going to, in just a moment, I'm going to flip my sign over, and then we'll all take turns with this, and you will get to see what is on my sign, and you will have to guess what this combination of emojis might mean. It is either going to be a book, a movie, or we might stretch it into like dramatic theatrical production of some kind. So anyway, here is the very first one. Ready? What do you think this is? What do you think this might be? We've got snowmen, snowflakes.
The Lady of Shalott.
The Lady of Shalott. Lady in the Water.
The Man
M. Night
of
Shyamalan.
Shalott. No.
The Man of Shalott?
That could be.
Shallot? Do you see an onion?
It looks like a shallot.
Definitely Harry Potter.
No,
Oh, definitely Harry Potter. I could, because
The castle.
wow, it's Hogwarts. What about the mountain?
It could just be like a German Christmas town.
It's true.
That's what I'm
Where Harry visits.
Frozen!
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
Ethan
That
Schulte.
makes sense.
Ethan Schulte for the win, right there.
Keeping up
Right
with the
there.
Kardashians.
Wow. Okay, Abby, let's see yours. Let's see yours.
All right.
Gotta bring it up to the screen. What do you think this is? Can be a movie. It can be a book. It can be all of the above. Theatrical production. You have it. Okay, so we've got
Frozen still.
yeah, it could be Frozen. That guy kind of looks like Daniel Looney. Still Frozen.
That's true.
Frozen or Harry Potter. For the no, I'm just kidding. We're on 15
This
seconds.
delay is hilarious.
The delay is quite hilarious.
We're still getting Frozen.
Definitely the
It's
kind
okay.
of fall because of
This
the
is
bats.
the fall.
There we go, Batman, there we go.
There we go. All
That's right. Oh, I guess it's my turn.
All right, it's Matt's turn. This one's gonna be a little bit tricky. It's
Okay.
gonna be a little bit tricky.
Ready? Sit. Go. What is this?
It's still Batman. I mean, it could be like Batman on the old, show. He had like the phone that he flipped up. It was like hidden in like a
Dracula.
mannequin head or something. And so that's the That's the Bruce Wayne Manor. The special phone. And then
COVID. That's so true, Bill. Yeah, we got E.T.
E.T.,
Okay,
there
wait.
we go.
But
Yeah.
sound it out too. We've got what? E.T. Phone home.
Phone Wayne Manor.
Yeah, Phone Wayne Manor.
All right, this is another one. It's gonna be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Might take you a second to get. One of the emojis I think is a dead giveaway. Area 51.
Area
Yeah,
51.
definitely.
Nice.
This is definitely Area 51. It is really funny to see the 15-second delay because. Yay!
Hey!
Hey, John Rainheim joined. Justin
Nice.
Hench joined. What?
All right, Justin.
For those of you that just now joined, Jacob Rainheim. I know you're not John, but
Could be John.
what could be John? But for those of you that just joined, we are playing Emoji Pictionary, and that means you have to look at this and guess what it is. Man, Justin, Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, very good, very good,
Nicely done.
very good, Lily. That was amazing. First one in. All right, Abby, let's see what you got.
Next one. What is it?
Hold up a little bit higher. If you want.
An owl on a lightning owl. Struck by lightning.
No.
Batman Forever.
Batman
Yeah,
Forever,
sure.
definitely. Sleeping Beauty.
Definitely Sleeping Beauty.
Bill Dunn's worst nightmare.
Always kind of Justin to go a little more in depth with the movie.
Luke Tipton joined. What's up, Luke?
Nice.
Hey,
Harry
Mia.
Potter.
Harry Potter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Harry Potter. All right, Matt.
All right,
let's see.
this
So
one-
Luke, we're playing Emoji Pictionary. So you guess what this combo of emojis might symbolize. Book, movie.
This one's actually going to be a good one for you to jump in on because it's pretty difficult, if I do say so myself. I don't think we got it. Yeah.
I got it.
Here we go.
Because I made it.
Ooh, what is that?
Ooh, wait a second. There we go.
So we've got a star, an alien, a raccoon, and a tree. Stranger Things.
Oh, that's a good one.
Lost in the Woods. Stranger Things. If you watch Frozen 2, that's stuck in your head nonstop. I didn't really like Lost in the Woods at first, and then Weezer covered it, and I thought, That was smart. That was
I don't know if I've ever
Well
heard
done, Disney. Well done. Well done. Still Harry Potter. Still Harry Potter in this one. Frozen again.
Frozen 2?
Frozen 2 with the alien because that was the big twist nobody saw coming.
I guess.
Hey!
Guardians of the Galaxy! Nice!
Way to go. Way to
Nicely
go.
done.
Nice. All right. I'm up again. All right. This one could be potentially one of two movies or both movies if you want to, guess both of them. We've got
Extra credit.
extra credit. This one, might make it's actually, I thought it was kind of easy, but the first time I showed it to someone, they were like, "What?" I don't. Elf. For this one? No, I'm sure it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Winnie the Pooh. Way to go, Hayes. Pterodactyl! That is definitely John Reinheim with the pterodactyl.
Yes.
Yes, Jacob. All right, what do we think? We've got some weird kind of fish, and a person's like, "Hey, Finding Dory / Nemo." Science would be a good one for this.
Except for the
You're right. Except for the raccoon.
Yeah.
Yes, the delay is hilarious.
Finding Nemo
Finding Dory / Nemo. All right, Abby, what do you got?
Okay, next one.
Bob the Builder.
Definitely Bob,
Bob
the Builder.
totally. The real question is, are you worthy enough to guess this one correctly?
It's
This one.
it's Matt with blonde hair.
It
I
is.
honestly don't know.
But
what
you're
this
taking a
is.
hammer to the head? Like,
Well, daily.
oh, okay.
Um,
I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna. Finding Dory and Finding Nemo. Yeah, we've got to wait maybe 5 more seconds before your guesses for this one start coming in. People are thinking. Thor!
There we go.
Lily, man.
Nice.
Lily is
Yeah.
on it. Lily is on it.
Oh man, this one.
This is the hardest.
This is the hardest one. I think.
Stretches the genre.
All right, this
Nora,
is.
I'm looking at you for this one.
This is very
I'm
difficult.
not looking at you. I can't see you, but.
Ready?
One of the best things to help you with this, MC Hammer. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a great one for the Thor one. That was a great.
That was.
suggestion. For this one, it will help if you try to identify what these things are. So,
Hugh Bartlett getting electrocuted by a hammer.
wow, there's.
We'll make sure to let him know that.
Yeah. Blonde hammer dude, I like that. Okay, so one of the things that will help you with this one is to think of what are your different options here? It's a pig, it's pork, it's bacon. Come up with a bunch of different options for that. Think outside the box for this one, and then this helps you identify the categories. The
Sing.
genre.
Okay,
Sing.
That's
I
a good
should've done
option.
that one. That wasn't what I was thinking, but I'll accept that one for this one too. Any other ideas? What I was actually going for?
Peppa Pig.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's another great idea.
Three Little Pigs.
Three Little Pigs.
Okay, so
Sing. Think less movies and more theatrical
Musical.
productions, musicals.
me working out and singing.
Yes. Wow, that's
Poor Justin.
poor Justin.
So we got a lot of sing.
We got a lot of sing. I should.
That would have been a good one for this.
You guys are thinking through more than I did. I was going really deep on this one.
Hamlet.
Hamlet is very close.
That's what I thought.
That's what I
first.
said.
That's
You're
what I
in the
thought
genre
first.
because it's a musical and it's a stage production, and Hamlet is very, very close to what it is.
Hamlet's what I thought first.
You've got the right
Think
first
more
syllable.
recent than
Wicked. We're moving away from Hamilton.
Hamilton. There we go.
Nice.
Hamilton.
That was
Yes.
beautiful. That was beautiful. All right. I guess it's my turn now. Okay. There's this one. This one's also a little bit. I know, intense yoga. This one's also a little bit out there. Again, you kind of gotta look at each thing and come up with different options of what they might be. People always say recycling. This is recycling, but it's more than that. There's other things going on here too. Lily Luke with the Hamilton, that was great. Yeah, Hamilton, that was a hard one to get. Alexander Hamilton.
True.
What do you guys think here? Remember, it could be a movie, could be a book, could be a theatrical production. This is our second hardest one. Hamilton was by far the hardest.
Yeah.
Your pork. Recycle your pork. Yeah.
Recycle your pork. Yeah.
Are you saying I'm an
Timmy?
egg? Porky Pig goes green. Hey. Porky
Okay.
Pig, Porky the Pig goes green. Wait, is it backwards?
Bam! Film time! Yes! Green eggs and ham.
And ham. All right.
Yes.
Abby.
Next one.
Recycle a pig egg.
What do we think this one is? Some of you might be thinking this is Matt's proposal, but it's not. But the ring reminds
We
me.
did not go to a volcano,
But he did go to a mountain.
but we did go to a mountain.
They're
That's
not
true.
the same.
Yeah. That's true.
But that could be Matt's proposal.
That's not a movie.
Then it makes it sound like
Yeah.
it should be. Yeah. That's right. We've got ring, engagement ring, arrow, go to the mountain, the volcano, the avalanche,
Ring going to a
Shrek. Ooh.
Oh,
For
actually.
the last one, that actually
Yeah. That sounds
Oh,
pretty
I
good.
thought they meant for this one.
it could work for this one as well. Joe versus the volcano. It's an awful movie.
Lord of the Rings. There we go, Hayes. Yeah.
Dante's Peak. Although Dante's man, Justin's pulling out all the
Justin,
great
man.
classic 90s movies.
That's me.
Yeah, I'll take. How many do you have left?
I have one more after this.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, I was looking at all the items.
Okay.
Nice with Timmy, Lord of the Rings.
What is this one? This one you might just
Yeah, this
be
was
better
also a bit
sounding
tricky.
out.
There's no sounds.
Well, okay, fine.
I mean, phonetics.
Whatever one.
Right.
What each one is, though.
What each one is.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, George Feller? Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Yes.
Way to
Well
go.
done. Yes.
More, specific.
Yes.
Yeah. Bring the detail into
Where
that.
they
Although Joe
actually.
versus the volcano in Dante's Peak, possibly my favorite guesses of all right now.
Narnia! Yes!
Nice.
Which one specifically?
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz. Lily, that's also a great choice. Jeff, Wizard of... Man, I should have thought of that. I
Oh,
didn't
that's
think of that.
true.
It really does
It
look
does
like
come
Wizard of
with
Oz.
that, yeah.
I was going for
Lion,
Lion,
Witch, and the
Witch,
Wardrobe.
and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, there we go.
But Wizard of Oz is also
Lion
very
came
good.
next.
Oh, no. Wow, all right, last one. Last one.
The last one.
Last one somehow preemptively was guessed, possibly because we just had a lion in the last one, but
Yeah.
obviously a lion, and then
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yep.
Narnia. Yep. We did have this one
But
preemptively guessed.
a lion with royalty, a royal lion, a royal lion.
That's it.
That's it.
Is the royal lion. Narnia. We're still catching up. Wow, what's the mad faces for? Who's exploding on the
Who's
screen?
mad at me?
I can't see the.
I don't do well with
who's
this.
the- yeah.
I don't do well when people are mad at me.
That's true. This one's like Batman, basically. Batman. Dun, dun.
I just can't tell if
This is
you're still on lag.
or somebody's just blowing up their reactions that we can't see the comments in. Could be something like that. All right. Well, that one
Katie
is
Cook
The
preempted.
Lion King.
Yeah, Katie Cook preempted it.
You mean Stephen Cook?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We've got another game. And Abby, I'll have you do the. Do you have a published thing?
yeah.
Okay. So our next game. I'm worried that the comments got stalled out because the last one we see was Narnia and a little while ago, and so I'm worried that like maybe our comment feed somehow disappeared. Abby, would you type a comment, like just say hi or something like that, or like, give a shout out to somebody, and that way it might like I don't know.
Yeah, we are so
first
getting-
up. Hey, I said hi.
We are getting all sorts of
We are. Lots of reactions. Maybe the reactions are halting the comments. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do for this game. This game is called Milk Connoisseur. Milk Connoisseur. Because Matt is a connoisseur of milk. And so what we've got is we've got a variety of jars of milk. Milk bottles. Jar bottles of milk. We've got skim milk. You can't see the labels, I know, but we've got skim milk, we've got 1%, we've got 2%, we've got whole milk, and then we have lactose-free milk, which I don't know if it's actually milk at that point, but we'll fit it. Here's what
what it is, though.
Cool. Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put up a little poll on the bottom of the screen, and I want you guys to basically click on how many of these you think Matt can correctly guess. In just a moment, we're gonna blindfold Matt, and Matt will not be able to see from what container the milk is being poured. And what's basically gonna happen is Matt is gonna drink the milk, ponder it for a little bit, and then he's gonna see if he can correctly identify what it came from, right? Okay, and I want you guys, when the poll goes live here on the bottom, I want you guys to put how many you think Matt's gonna get correct. You wanna pull up the poll?
I like milk a lot. Just so
Just come over here. Actually,
Matt, are you using
oh, there we go.
already?
We've
sorry,
wait a minute.
yeah, blindfolds right.
Oh yeah, our comments are coming. All right. Oh, here we go. So here's your options. Will Matt get 0 out of 5? Will Matt correctly identify 2 out of 5? Will Matt correctly identify 4 out of 5? Or do you think Matt can get 5 out of 5? 5 out of 5. That would be every single jar, bottle of milk correctly. So, well, Matt, actually, I'll help you stand up. He already blindfolded himself. Do you need to put your glasses on?
That's so funny.
Step over here. Okay. So, we've got our cups for you. Okay, Matt, while the stats are coming in, tell us, what's your favorite thing about milk? Not off you face the camera.
This is the camera?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about milk, I think, is the creaminess of it.
Ooh. Yeah, interesting. What's your favorite color of milk?
I suppose we're white.
White? Really?
Yeah.
Not blue? Star Wars?
No.
Okay.
You could make an argument for chocolate milk, but generally I just like it.
Have you ever done the Nestle's Quick? They have different flavors.
Yes. My dad was obsessed with that stuff.
Really? Did you ever do the banana milk?
Yes, and I did not like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
It's not, that's not supposed to be like that.
But here's the thing. If you take the strawberry powder, the banana powder, and the chocolate powder, you mix them, you have a banana split.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's virtually disgusting, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get over that.
All right.
I wasn't a huge fan of strawberry either.
Really?
Chocolate I'm okay with.
All right.
Yeah, chocolate I'm okay with. But I'm a regular kind of guy.
All right, well, we're going to get this started. We're going to start over here with this one. Just so you guys can see it. That's the one. That's what we're getting with. Pour a little bit of this milk out.
I'm a little nervous, I'm going to be honest, because I am a self-proclaimed connoisseur. And so I don't want to appear like a
Go ahead and
fool.
smell that. Inhale that a little bit.
I don't know where
It's right here in front of you. Okay. Get that.
I
that
can't
nice-
smell anything.
Well, back up a little bit. Keeping sanitized. Your options are 1%, 2%, whole milk, skim milk, or lactose free
I'm going to say
milk, quote unquote.
that is, I have to be decisive here. I think that's 2% milk.
That's 2% milk. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. I just show this.
Oh, okay.
What you're drinking. Let me hand the cup to you like that. Not touch your hands. Okay. Go ahead and drink that. Switch around a little bit. Get the flavor. The aroma, the creaminess. Your favorite part. Try that out. Two sips.
This doesn't taste different enough. I think the last two were either 1 or 2%.
Really close.
Yeah.
Really close to each other. Okay.
Sorry. Your answer.
Yeah, I like milk. Okay.
So you
I like 1 and 2% similarly well, which makes me almost wonder. I can't change my answers, can I? Okay.
I mean, you haven't commit yet, so.
Yeah. I needed a base. I can basically tell whole milk
Here's this one.
of 1
Right?
and 2%.
Here's this one. Again, you can still answer the poll. How many of these do you think Matt is going to correctly guess?
Certainly I'm not.
Here's this one. I don't know. I mean, you're already identifying, a slight margin of difference.
I can't smell anything.
Right now, 74% of the people think that Matt is going to get 2 out of 5. 5% think 5 out of 5. So it went up to 6. 6% think 5 out of 5. What do you think, Matt?
That's good milk. I don't know. I think that's lactose free.
Oh, because lactose free, really? But you called it good milk.
But he did say he's been drinking a lot of
That is
free
true.
recently.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna put it in the lactose free category.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We've got two more on here. Once again, we scroll down so I can see all the comments.
No, I think that was whole milk.
You think that was whole milk? All right. Okay. Once again, here we go. All right, Matt.
No, that's whole milk.
That's whole milk.
Yeah.
That was clearly whole milk. Okay. We have one more. One more for you to guess, Matt.
Which means,
This is the very last one.
oh man.
One more for you to use your connoisseurial skills. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
This is the last one. It's a big one. Take a deep breath. All right. Take a swig.
That's orange juice. That is not any kind of milk.
Sorry, Matt.
That's okay. I was belabored in my mind, though, that this could possibly be whole milk, which is, of course, water that's lying about being milk.
Whole milk?
No, I'm sorry.
Skim milk.
Skim milk. Whole milk is good milk.
Matt, another surprise for you.
Skim milk.
Take out the blindfold.
I was gonna say, it's so similar. It all tasted so similar.
Well, thank you. I'll do a long distance high five. That's very good.
It tasted so much the same.
Thank you, Matt. And I will say, I was hoping for a bigger reaction from the orange juice, but that's okay. I was expecting to be like, whoa! But
It was shocking. I just composed myself.
alright, good. It was a little bit of the best we could do for Oogum Boogum right now. Abby, if you want to publish the results. Right. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter who is right or wrong. This just tells Matt how much confidence we all have in him. So,
Thank you.
you did that. It's actually pretty good.
26% said 0 out of 5. I don't know that that's very confident.
I mean,
Did I get any of them right?
yeah, because you kept saying you thought it was 2%.
That's true.
Now, as it went on, you were going more into the whole skill. I think the most interesting thing was when you said, this is definitely lactose free, or it might be whole milk. And I was like, whoa, I mean, it just seemed like there was a big jump there. But,
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show.
Good.
I was tricked.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Yes, thank
That
you.
was the goal. All right, so here's what we've got. I think you can drop the poll if you want. It's published. Okay. It might disappear. I don't know. It's good. All right. Hey, so it is. I want to make sure we're keeping track of our time. It is 7:30. That's perfect. So we're gonna pray. We're gonna wrap up the kind of lessons we've been talking about the last 2 weeks, and then I will just add, if you guys want to come up with some of your own emoji games like this. If you want to, you can find some on the internet. You can, sit with your phone and make up some of your own. You can do these on your computer. But if you come up with any of these that you think could stump us, text them to us, email them to us, post them on this Facebook group, post them on Instagram. However you want to get one of these to us, I'd love to see the ones that you guys come up with. Movies, books, TV. Just if you're gonna go outside of that, like works of art or Mona Lisa, something like that, song title, song lyrics. If you're gonna go outside of the movies, books, plays category, just know. But yeah, this was something that you guys could do at home. I'd love to see what you guys come up with, and I'd love to try to guess. We'll see. I'm going to pray, and then we are going to wrap up talking about Jacob, wrestling with God. So let me pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for all the Crash guys and girls that are tuning in tonight. I know that there's a lot of other things to do, and there's a million things that we could be distracting ourselves with, but we're bored, and we also love to see people and to interact with each other again. So thank you for this time of interaction. Thank you for the small groups some of us have gotten to do virtually or have scheduled for this week, just times that we get to interact with each other and enjoy seeing each other. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. As we have, we've been talking about Jacob, we've been talking about this guy named Jacob who wrestled with a God, who fought God. Not because he picked a fight with God, but because God picked a fight with him. And what we're going to do, I'll review that story in just a sec for those of you that might not have been here the past couple weeks. By here, I mean the Facebook group. Or for those of you that are like, I don't even remember what we talked about last week, because quite frankly, I don't either. There's a lot that's going on. It just, I don't know, just feel kind of scattered. So here's what I want you guys to do, though. I want you to think of a time when you grabbed onto something, or you held onto something, or you leaned onto something, and you were expecting it to support you. You were expecting it to support you. Maybe you're falling and you grabbed onto something and you thought this is gonna keep you from falling, and it couldn't support you and it ripped out. So for instance, when I was younger, I was crawling around on a friend of mine, like we could crawl out of his window onto his roof, and my friend decided he was gonna walk onto like the roof of their porch, but it was that really thin, like plastic kind of wavy stuff, and his foot just like right through. Fortunately, like he jumped back so he didn't go crashing through it. But that was something where you expected it to support him and it didn't. So I want you guys to think about that and maybe post in the comments what is something that you thought was going to support you, you leaned on it, you grabbed it, for support, and it didn't. So something that didn't, couldn't handle your weight. So as you guys are writing that, man, we've got some fun comments going on over here. Okay, my life. Branch guys run. This is going to be really distracting. Keep looking at your guys' comments. What is something you grabbed onto for support? So here's a story. When we only had Stark at the time, so Stark was probably 2 years old. And I remember we were doing this handoff. So we would take Stark to see his grandparents for, an afternoon, evening. And then meet at a gas station, and the grandparents would hand him off to us. It was just kind of a way of like him getting to spend time with his grandparents. And what would happen then is the car seat would come out of their car and over into our car. And if your car is kind of older, like our little car is, it doesn't have like supports that are just really easy to get the car seat locked in. It's not a very simple process. It's kind of tedious. So anyway, I get Stark in. I'm not going to throw someone under the bus, so I think it was one of the grandparents who put the car seat in the car, but it might have been me that put the car seat in the car. But bottom line is, I come over and I strap Stark into the car seat, and I go, okay, you're all buckled in, you're good. And then I walk up, to the front of the car, and I get in the driver's seat, and I hear Stark do this. Whoa! And he like falls over, and he's kind of laughing. He thinks it's silly, but the car seat wasn't attached to the car. And so just in the time it took for me to go from the back of the car to the front of the car, Stark had kind of like moved around, and his car seat just fell over. So fortunately, it wasn't. We weren't on the road. We weren't on the interstate. Could have been really bad. But what happened is I'm looking at Stark going, "You're buckled. You're good. You're safe." Failing to realize that the thing I had buckled him into was not secure itself. Today we're going to finish the story of Jacob, and the story of Jacob kind of leaves us with this question. What are you holding on to? Jacob is having to ask the question, what are you holding on to for support? What are you leaning on in life? And we're going to have to ask that question too of ourselves. What are we leaning on? What are we holding on to? Some of your comments, let's see. Did you name Stark after Iron Man? So there's a long answer to that question. The short answer is yes, kind of, actually. You got a lot of Hayes Rex that are talking about bottles and beer and 94 bottles of beer, something like that. Somebody said beer at the top comment. I didn't say that one. 76, 5. Man, you guys are pulling out all the middle school numbers. You guys are so funny. So here's what I want. Here's what we're gonna do. Looking at Jacob. So Jacob, right? We've talked about him as a guy who is used to fighting for what he gets. He fights people for what he gets all the time. He has essentially fought and cheated his way into everything in life. And so he cheated. The big one is he cheated his brother out of all the family wealth. His brother threatens to kill him, and so Jacob runs away. But God has promised to be with Jacob, and so Jacob is now coming back to his family, to his homeland, and God is saying, hey, trust me. But Jacob hears that his brother's coming to meet him. And so Jacob's last thought is, my brother is going to kill me. My brother's coming to meet me. He must be ready to kill me. And so Jacob is struggling with this question of, what am I going to do? So Jacob's exhausting all of his strategies, his plans. He's trying to cheat his way out of this. And what we talked about last week was when Jacob is alone and he has nothing left to do. He has no other tricks, no other way he's going to sneak out of this. It's him by himself, and most likely his brother's coming to get him. In that moment, God doesn't kind of come up beside him and put his arm around him and say, hey, Jacob, how you doing, buddy? Instead, God attacks him. In fact, the way the Bible puts it, I kind of like to do this, the way the Bible puts it is just like out of nowhere, God like is attacking Jacob, just fighting with him. And so we talked last week about one of the reasons why God is fighting Jacob is because he wanted Jacob to see that Jacob had been fighting everyone else for blessings, and God wanted Jacob to fight with him. God wanted Jacob to see that you need to fight with me. I'm the one that can give you what you really need. That's what you need. So don't fight everyone else. Don't cheat everyone else. Come after me. Come to me. I'm the one that can bless you. I'm here with you. Look at these comments we got going here. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree by the river of truth until the whole world know you move. Boom. Captain America. That's a great quote. Speaking of great quotes, here's a great quote from the story of God wrestling with Jacob. How's that for a segue? So here's what it says. Jacob was alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. This is Genesis 32. And when the man saw that he did not win against Jacob, the man touched Jacob's hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint, dislocated, as he wrestled with him. And then the man said, let me go, for the day has broken, means the sun is coming up. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And the man said to him, what is your name? And Jacob said, my name is Jacob. The man said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have fought with God, you have struggled with God, and with men, and you have won. So it's an interesting question here. Last week we had the question, why does God wrestle with Jacob? Why does God fight? Why does God attack Jacob? This time we have the question, how does Jacob beat God? Because the Bible says your name is going to be called Israel because you have wrestled or struggled with God and you won. And here's just what I want you guys to see really, really quickly in this story, because I think it's a fascinating thing. When Jacob is struggling with God, God gets to the point where he's like, okay, you are fighting with me now. You are recognizing on some level, I don't know where it was, at what point in time Jacob realized that the thing he was wrestling with was not just a man, but was God. But at some point, Jacob starts to have this realization, and he is fighting with all of his might. And God is saying, okay, I came at you on your own terms. You're fighting with me for what you want. You're now realizing I am the only one that can truly bless you. And then when God says, hey, I dislocated your hip socket. You have won this fight, but it's over. The sun is coming up. And what God basically means is if you see me, you cannot handle seeing me. I am God. If the sun comes up and you see me, you're dead. Let me go, or you won't live through the morning. And instead, Jacob says, no, I'm going to hold on to you because I want a blessing. Jacob's realizing now the only way I'm going to get a blessing is from God. The only way I'm going to get out of this moment is God. You're the one that has all the answers, right? Guys, this is Easter week, Holy Week. This is the week leading up to Easter. We had Palm Sunday last Sunday. We have Easter this Sunday. One of the things that I always think of when I read this story is Jesus in the garden. Because the Bible and the Gospels tell us about Jesus in the garden. And in the garden, right before Jesus gets arrested, right before he goes to the cross, he struggles. And he actually struggles with his Father, with God. He's saying, hey, if there's any way for this cup to go to someone else or to pass from me, he doesn't say to someone else. If there's any way for this cup to pass, if there's any other way to accomplish this plan, what the Jesus Storybook Bible calls the great rescue plan of God, if there's any other way for this to happen, this is going to be so much. Jesus is fearful. He's anxious. The Gospels describe him sweating blood. That's how anxious he is about this. And so in that moment, Jesus says, if there's any other way for this to happen, let this pass. But the answer he gets from God is there's no other way. There's no other way. This is the only way this happens. And here's one of the things I wrote as I was thinking through this. I said there's a strong similarity between the story of Jacob and the story of Jesus in the garden. It was in the garden in the middle of the night Jesus wrestled with God, not physically, mentally, emotionally. Because the crucifixion, the cross was coming. And Jesus was struggling with the weight of that anxiety and the fear of that. But Jesus' struggle was different than Jacob's. Jesus wasn't struggling with whether or not to trust God. Jesus had full trust in God. Jacob is struggling, can I trust God? Jesus wasn't struggling with the fear of what men could do. Jacob was struggling with the fear of what Esau was going to do to him. Jesus is struggling with the fear of men. Jesus didn't experience just the dislocation of his hip. Jesus' entire body was mutilated and torn apart. He was left exposed and bleeding on the cross until his body just gave up and died. That's what Jesus is facing, right? And unlike Jacob, in Jesus' darkest hour, he doesn't get to hold on to God. Because one of the biggest things that Jesus was dreading was actually having his Father turn his back on him and say, you have taken on the sins of man. I can't be in your presence anymore because God can't be in the presence of sin. So Jesus is struggling with the physical torture he's about to endure, but also the spiritual being cut off from his Father, even for any moment of time. That's why Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me? So in this moment in the garden, and then on the cross, Jesus doesn't have the option as he struggles with the mission of the Father. He doesn't have the option of holding on to God the way Jacob does. But Jacob holds on to God because God's teaching him to trust him. And Jesus is trusting God and he lets go. And the thing I want us to take away from that tonight, this is what I want to close with, is Jacob got to hold on to God. Jesus had to let go. And because Jesus let go, we get to hold on. Because scripture makes this very clear. It says, if God has not spared even his only son as a sacrifice for us, if he was willing to do that, then there's no room to think that God might be trying to hurt us with anything else. So some of us have been struggling with COVID-19. Some of us have been struggling with quarantine. And maybe you're just kind of going through this. You're doing school, you're binge watching stuff, and you haven't slowed down. But under the surface, there's things going on. You're anxious, you're worried. You're stir crazy. Man, I know at our house, all of us have been getting a little bit edgy. Our tempers have been flaring a little bit too much. It's been getting hard. And we still don't know when this is going to let up. We don't have any light at the end of the tunnel that says, oh, everything's on a good track to clear up really soon. So here's what I just want to encourage you guys to think about this week. I want you guys to pull out a piece of paper, if you have a journal or a notebook or something, and I just want you to struggle with God for a little bit. I want you to write out questions that you have for God. Why did this happen? When is this going to stop? Why are my relationships with my family hard right now? Why don't I get to see my friends? Why did my sports season get canceled? Why don't I have school? You might not be asking that question. Some of you might be like, I really miss this. Why can't I get to do the things that I like to do with the people that I like to do them with? Ask God your questions. Wrestle with God. I'm not promising he's going to give you answers, but when we sit down and start writing some of these things, man, a lot of stuff becomes more clear. Write those things out, but then I want you guys to write some kind of a reminder. And it could just be like, in the midst of this, I can hold on to God. In the midst of this, I can trust God. In the midst of this, I know that God is with me. Because that's what God taught Jacob, and that's what the cross means for us. So as we look toward Easter this Sunday, let us just take great hope in the midst of our situation right now that God loves us, God is with us, God is for us, and that in the midst of something like this, we know that we can hold on to Jesus because Jesus was willing to let go so that we could hold on to him. Jesus was willing to go to the cross and die. Jesus was willing to take on death and then defeat it by rising from the dead so we could know there is nothing, sickness, death, any evil or enemies, nothing is more powerful than God and Jesus. All right, so we've got to pray, and then we'll let some of your comments coming in. Man, you guys are going to town. Try to think. This is way better than last week when I couldn't see the comments. It's way more distracting, but it's way better. Dear Jesus, thank you for these guys and girls. Thank you that we get to be together in this kind of different way, but just to get to experience community in these times where we don't get it as often. We don't get to be with each other as often as we'd like. Lord, I just pray for creativity as we come up with more and more games every week. We pray for just time together, time that is fun. Continue to help us have time for small groups. And Lord, as we look toward Easter Sunday, which is always such a special Sunday, a special time of celebration, I pray that we would still find ways to make this special and meaningful this week, even though we can't be together. Thank you for the gift of your Son. Thank you for living and dying and rising again for us. And thank you that by that we know we can hold on to you in the midst of whatever we have to deal with. And we praise in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. We love you guys. We miss you guys. I'll let you guys come right back up. Say goodbye to everyone. 6th grade guys, we have a small group coming up. You guys doing your 6th grade?
6th grade girls will have one this week. We haven't picked the date and time yet.
Right.
But
6th grade guys, we're going to connect right after this on Zoom. So text
8th
me.
grade guys, Wednesdays and Fridays, 4 p.m. Let me know if you have not gotten an email about that already.
7th grade guys have one coming up too this week. I don't remember exactly when, but you're all getting emails about it. So anyway, if you're not, email me. We'll get you on those small groups. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And we're gonna just keep awkwardly waving until somebody hits the end live video thing down there. Quarantine.